We've changed our season around, but we got to keep going. Like, the job's not done.
So, some people call him run and dunk man, some people hate the way he plays, but honestly, he's truly an elegant bully. When you watch Giannis approach the game, you see he has this burning passion inside of him, and when he turns defense into offense, this is when things get really exciting. If you pay attention, you'll see that Giannis is always locked in during the play, so if you're unaware of where he's at on the floor, you'll end up getting smothered on your own shot attempt, and before you know it, he'll be flying down the court for the and-one bucket. To average 1.5 blocks per game isn't the easiest thing to do, as you must be able to track and locate the ball perfectly without fouling the offensive player. This here all comes down to timing, because you'll have these moments where a player thinks they have the perfect drop to the basket, but at the last second, Giannis will enter the equation to make things even more messy. Take this play for an example. Cole Anthony thinks he has an easy dunk in transition, but Giannis never gives up on the play, rushes down the floor, and wham! He smacks this clean off the glass. This shows you to never count him out or test him at the rim, as if you watch this play, you'll see Giannis deter the initial layup attempt, forcing RJ Barrett to kick it out, and when the ball ends up in prodL's hands on the cut to the basket, Giannis is right there to knock it off the glass once again. This second effort energy is something you don't get out of a lot of players, and he not only does this one time, he can do this multiple times in the same game. Other times when you see him use his second effort, it's not exactly based off him stopping the drive first, as here Brook Lopez cuts off K going to the rim, and then once Cunningham finds that angle to get around Lopez, here comes Giannis inserting himself in the picture, and this one ends in the ball flying right into the Bucks' possession. This ability to slide into position works perfectly for the Bucks, as they use Giannis as more of a roamer to protect the rim. So when you see guys blow past Lopez, it's not exactly a big deal, because on the back line you have Giannis sending shots and making guys shoot nearly 8% less on all shots within 6 feet. Now sure, that stat could be a little misleading due to how it's tracked, but when you see that it doesn't matter if guys try to use force on him, Giannis will still stay focused to stop them from scoring, and then if he's to get beat off the dribble himself, the recovery is immaculate. This high level of defense is something that can totally suck the life out of an offense, and you tell me, when you see him get in the air to stop the alley-oop attempt, this right here is pretty amazing. He's honestly fearless and doesn't care about getting put on a poster like other players, so that's why we get some of these beautiful blocks that come at literally the last second. All these ways of sending shots and making life harder for the defense is all a testament to his brilliance on this side of the floor, and if we keeping it real, I'm pretty sure all of us can appreciate his effort on this side of the ball. But when we switch over to his offensive abilities, here's where some people fail to acknowledge his skill. Sure, you could wish for him to be some amazing three-point shooter or a guy with a mesmerizing handle, but hey, that's just not his game. With his 6'11", 240-pound frame, Giannis uses it to his advantage to simply treat the defenders like cones, and boy oh boy do defenders feel helpless when he's coming right at them. On 13 drops per game, Giannis shoots 62% on 6.2 shots per game, and trust me, there's many ways he can choose to go score at the rim. If you allow him to get space downhill to initiate a clean launch, we'll go ahead and put 2 points on the board. With him having such an athletic frame and the ability to keep his balance and speed while taking long strides, it doesn't matter who stands in front of him, he'll find a way to glide right past him. For example, as Claxton continues to back up on this play, this gives Giannis the keys to do whatever he wants. And with him spotting an angle to attack, he gathers into those long 2 steps to get to that launch pad, and right over the top he used the finger roll to lay it in with ease. When getting out on the break, Giannis is second in the league in possessions at 6.9, and he averages 1.24 points per possession with a field goal percentage of 71.4%. This right here is simply amazing, and no matter what defenders do, they can't stop it. When pushing up the floor versus the Cavs here, Giannis has the option to shoot gap 1 or 2, but with him wanting to go to his strong side, he decides to attack gap 2, and sadly for Dean Wade, he gets absolutely moved out the way, and now Giannis has an easy route to the and one. Not only will he bulldoze his way into the lane on smaller defenders, as even if a guy his size is in his way, Giannis will still show no mercy when pushing to the lane and get the exact look he desires. Now yes, we've talked about the power he uses, and some of you may be like, see, all he does is run and dunk. Well look here, Giannis understands when to use the defender's positioning against himself by launching off Williams here to catch the lob. When players try to pick him up early, he switches gears with a slowdown into a spin move to then burst to the rack for the and one. And although many people will still think it takes no skill, he'll smoothly Euro pass a defender in transition to lay it home. And hold on one second, let's add in a bonus. On this play, Giannis will start off with a push crossover to avoid the potential double, and once getting to the paint, he serves that Euro to avoid heavy damage to his health bar, and now the bank is wide open. So yeah, although he may be getting down the court in a quick manner and treating defenders like cones, there's still some slight finesse to his game. This skill in the full court flows right into his half-court offense, and honestly, his dominance doesn't drop off one bit, as it actually may be even better. When we first look at his ability to drive the ball, Giannis combines his strength, agility, and awareness to pretty much make him unstoppable. Sort of like the fast break, Giannis is extremely dangerous when you give him a head of steam, as this just obliterates defenses. Take this play versus Al Horford and Drew Holiday. Giannis has space and time to charge up on that drive before exploding towards the rim, and with him choosing to go right in between, he makes the key movement of keeping the ball high rather than bringing it down low for Drew to swat at, and bada bing is money team. This here isn't just brute strength, it's more about him knowing how to use his length and balance to navigate through the traffic. Different plays will show you this, as you can look at this moment where he builds that head of steam to completely blow past the defender to slam it all over the defense. And if you think he's easy to stay in front of, go ahead and ask Tillman how fast it was for Giannis to slide right past him to sneak this one in. Time and time again, Giannis will showcase how dangerous he is when you give him that space to speed boost past you, but it doesn't just stop there. If you watch this play, he uses the quick change of direction with the spin move while bullying Martin off to go score, and when he notices a double team closing in on him while he's attacking, this is when the spin move becomes the special move, and then he delivers the finisher with a well-placed hook just to show everyone he doesn't have to bulldoze his way all the way to the rim every time. Not only did it show some versatility in shot selection, but it also shows how Giannis doesn't need to always be at 100 miles per hour. When defenses collapse on him, Giannis is able to stay calm, feed the up fake to get the defender on the trampoline, and with the step through, he now unlocks an angle to slam this home with aggression. This mix of footwork and timing is what keeps defenders on their toes, because once you think you're going to send the double his way, Giannis will swiftly evade the situation, and then go right through the contact to complete the and one. Yeah, for a guy his size to move so fluid, it's quite ridiculous. And when you see how fast he shifts Isaiah Stewart on this crossover to then go gracefully lay this in, it shows you that we're dealing with a different breed. I don't care what you say, having this quickness at 6'11" can be very deceptive, and with the ways he sets up his moves, it can be very intimidating to guard. Take this play for an example. When Giannis is coming up the floor at Hauser, honestly anything can happen, but for Hauser, he's definitely thinking about bracing for the contact. So once Giannis drop crosses to the left and loads up, you're going to see Hauser start to shift downhill to combat the drive, but this is all a setup for that explosive spin, and there's no stopping this one. This ability to mix it up while still using his quickness is something that gives Giannis an advantage over most bigs in the league, because while they rely on solely strength, Giannis relies on speed, power, and strength, and trust me, you're not going to slow down this moving force. All these ways of getting to the rim already separate Giannis from most bigs in the league, but when you add in his improved post game, this adds another level to his game. Sure, his drives are hard to guard and they're the best part of his game, but now Giannis is comfortable with turning his back to the basket and going to work on the defense. He's so fluid with his back turn that he'll flow into a fake post up into a spin move that leads to a two-hander, and even if he needs to stay patient before making his move, he can do so and then make the extended out layup look easy. Post game can sometimes be chalked up to boring back down, but when you notice that it's using your defender's momentum against himself to get to a certain spot on the floor, you start to look at things a little differently. To start this play off, Giannis is against a smaller Bogdanovic, so the smart thing to do is get low and into the hip to get an easier blow by. And I want you all to look right here. Okongwu is running and gearing up to stop Giannis. So instead of staying on the same path, Giannis will slightly angle towards the right to avoid the contact, and there's no way Okongwu can shift back to alter the shot. These quick rip-throughs leave the defender at a significant disadvantage when it comes to stopping Giannis out these post-up scenarios, and hopefully you still don't think he doesn't have some finesse, because Giannis will stay extremely patient before feeding this beautiful shimmy that leads to a soft push shot. Now listen, if you all paid attention, you would have noticed that the first post-up play I showcased was a fadeaway over the top of Al Horford, and that right there has been a new thing he has unlocked in his game this season. On 100 attempts, Giannis has knocked down 40% of his mid-range shots, and this here is a great sign as we get closer to All-Star break. This improvement is best displayed when defenders give him space to allow him to shoot, as he used to be timid to shoot these, but now he's rising up right over the top. You'll see guys step back as Giannis sizes them up, which allows for an easy pull-up, and with the defense having no confidence in his shot, they'll sit back with their arms relaxed, just daring Giannis to pull up. Right here you're going to see Ben Simmons just keep backpedaling when Giannis is coming up the floor, which results in easy money. And if he decides to get sturdy a little bit and the defender still doesn't step up, we'll go ahead and throw two on the board. When you watch Giannis play, it's clear that his game is a mix of relentless power, strategic finesse, and pure determination. People still may call him run and dunk man, but that label fails to capture the full scope of his talent. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.